echo of laughter still rings in my ears, a chilling symphony of scorn that played the day I told my family I wanted to be a painter. Paint? You mean like those clowns in the park? My father's voice dripped with derision, a laceration that cut deeper than any brushstroke ever could. My mother's eyes were full of disappointment, her gaze a silent verdict that proclaimed I was nothing but a fool. They branded my dreams a waste of time, a betrayal of the family's name. I stood there, my heart pounding in my chest, as my brother added fuel to the fire. You'll never make it, you know. Just give up already. You're embarrassing us. Each mocking word twisted the knife deeper, and the laughter wrapped around me like a suffocating shroud. I was just a kid, naive and bright-eyed, but in that moment, their ridicule extinguished the flicker of hope that danced in my chest. With each step I took away from that table, their voices faded into a haunting echo, but their words became my fuel. I left home that night, vowing to return not as the boy they mocked, but as the artist they would one day envy. The journey was anything but easy. I shuffled through art schools, scraped by on meager wages waiting tables, pouring every dime I earned into paints and canvases that felt more like my lifeline than mere objects. There were days when my hands trembled, caked with paint and doubt alike, as I faced the stark emptiness of my bank account and my dreams. I remember the discouraging moments vividly, those late nights spent hunched over my easel, paint-splattered clothes and the weight of failure clinging to me like a stubborn shadow. But with every brushstroke, I carved my own path. I faced rejection from galleries, critiques that sliced through me sharper than any knife. Yet each dismissal ignited a fire in me. I painted relentlessly, pouring my soul into each piece until the canvas felt like a part of me, until I emerged as an artist with a voice to be heard. Years passed. I built my reputation from the ground up, leaving behind the mockery of my past. My pieces began to sell, not just in local galleries, but in prestigious exhibitions across the country. Each sale felt like a vindication, a sweet slice of success that I savored. I could feel the tide turning. My art wasn't just a hobby, it was my identity. Yet as my name climbed the ranks of the art community, I often found myself looking back, reflecting on that painful rejection. The wounds of my childhood had shaped me, but I longed for closure. The day I was invited to showcase my work at a major art event across the country was the moment I knew it was time to return. I could not shake the feeling of needing to confront those who once labeled me a failure. The car ride back was agonizing. I gripped the wheel, replaying the taunts in my mind, the laughter that had once felt like a death sentence to my aspirations. The closer I got to my childhood home, the more my heart raced. Would they remember me? Would they see that I wasn't the boy they belittled anymore? I parked in front of the house, now draped in the comfort of familiarity. Yet it felt foreign, like I was stepping into a world where I no longer belonged. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows as I approached the door. My hand hesitated, pulse racing in anticipation of the confrontation that lay ahead. I knocked, and when the door creaked open, it was as if time had folded in on itself. My mother stood there, her face a mixture of surprise and confusion. "You?" she whispered, her voice barely a breath. Behind her, my father and brother appeared, their expressions shifting from disbelief to something resembling dread. They had expected the failure I once was, not the man who had emerged from the ashes of their scorn. "Can I come in?" I asked, my voice steady, despite the tempest of emotion swirling within me. They stepped aside, a silent invitation that felt more like an unspoken judgment. As we moved to the living room, the silence grew heavy, oppressive. I took a deep breath, feeling the weight of their gazes upon me. "I'm home to show you something," I said, pulling out my portfolio. A tangible piece of my journey, every struggle, Every ounce of rejection poured onto those pages. I unveiled the first piece, a vibrant landscape that spoke of resilience and transformation. I explained each stroke, each color that told my story. The room was tense, my family absorbing the essence of my art, the embodiment of my dreams realized. As the layers of paint revealed themselves, I watched the change in their expressions. My father's brows knitted together, confusion morphing into contemplation. My mother blinked rapidly, her eyes glistening with unbidden tears. My brother's jaw dropped as the weight of my reality sank in. "You did this?" My father finally spoke, disbelief lacing his words. "Yes," I said, my voice strong, echoing within the confines of that room. "No thanks to your mockery." The air shifted, and for the first time, I no longer felt like the outcast, the embarrassment. I stood tall, a man forged from rejection, proud of the journey that had brought me back. In that moment, I realized the greatest victory wasn't just in my success, but in the quiet power of confronting my past. I had stepped back not to seek their approval, but to reclaim my narrative. And as their skepticism faded, I felt a flicker of something anew, perhaps even the seeds of reconciliation. I turned to leave, but not before casting one final glance at the faces that had once belittled me. The silence that followed spoke volumes, leaving behind a promise that perhaps they would learn to embrace my dreams as fiercely as I had. In the embrace of my art, I had not only found my voice, I had found my home.